What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai, an extension of Anime Senpai PH channel. All pieces of information are derived from the light novel. In today's video, we will end the prologue of Volume 8 entitled A Status Report. This video is the prologue second part. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, feel free to check out the links in the description below. Now, let's get to the video. Granville, now alone in the room, whispered that he detested him so much. If Damrada thought that he could take advantage of Granville, it was a big mistake. Once this matter was done with, Damrada was next. The humiliation in Granville's eyes darkened into surging rage. Damrada reported to the boy sitting comfortably in a chair how things had worked out with the 5 elders. The boy said he was glad that matters had been settled with the Razos the way Damrada wanted them to. Now they could continue to use them as a point of contact for negotiation. Damrada was the height of arrogance while dealing with the Razos. With this boy, he was far more self-deprecating. It was to be expected. After all, this boy, broadly nodding his approval at Damrada's report, was both his master and the leader of the CERBERUS group. Damrada said quite true and called the Razos rats. Damrada cursed them for pushing a monster like that on him without even informing him about it. The boy laughed and said that must have been quite an adventure. He was glad that at least Damrada was able to step back at the right time. Damrada said that was quite a stroke of luck. His name was Diablo, if he recalled, a fearsome demon, one who might even be the equal of Blanc over in the Empire. Rimuru himself was far from the only threat. The boy agreed and told Damrada that he had a feeling that Rimuru's going to grow stronger before they could get themselves fully back in order. Damrada replied he was right, because that Demon Lord had the uncanniest luck working for him. He'd assembled quite a number of Magicborn, and he'd even tamed the Storm Dragon himself. The boy said that he thought a frontal assault would be a pretty bad idea. Damrada said he doubted Cerberus would survive when the dust settled. They decided to stop fretting about it. They had time to work with, and they could think about it. Things would remain rather chaotic for a while to come, and joining in the fray could burn them badly. The boy said that he had used Hinata to get back at them a little, but that didn't work out. The boy decided to lay low for a while, since it's too dangerous to make any other moves. The boy smiled, not seeming to care too much. Damrada thought things over as he returned the smile. Then, he seemed to remember something. Damrada glumly stated that still he had to say the 5 elders were all bark and no bite, going on about how they would destroy Hinata and how that worked out with both surviving. Damrada was sure they would work out their misunderstandings and that could end the whole rift between Tempest and the Holy Church before too long. The boy replied with a chuckle that he thought that would happen. Rimuru was too generous to humankind. The boy didn't think that Rimuru had it in him to kill Hinata. The boy said that he was kind of hoping that generosity would spell Rimuru's downfall sooner or later. But perhaps Rimuru wasn't that generous. Damrada said he thought the 5 elders had been aiming to conspire with Rimuru so they could keep a lid on the Storm Dragon. The boy concluded if that was all it took, they wouldn't have any problems right now. The boy explained that he'd had Damrada keep close tabs on them precisely because the boy figured they'd screw it up. Damrada understood it and said that had saved him in the end, though. He added that if the boy hadn't contacted him, Damrada would have had to duel Hinata herself in front of Rimuru. Perhaps, with some more luck, Damrada wouldn't have blown his cover. But he wasn't optimistic about his chances fighting Hinata. Damrada deeply appreciated the boy's advance warning about the danger. Although, of course, the danger only came about because of the boy's orders. If Hinata hadn't been fed false information, Damrada never would have been revealed at all. Still, this was nothing that troubled Damrada deeply. The orders of the boy who led Cerberus took precedence over everything else. His mission, after all, was no less than to conquer the entire world, a goal Damrada shared. Damrada adored the boy. With him, Damrada felt this childlike dream of world domination could really happen. That was why Damrada never questioned any of the orders he received. The boy casually said that if he had lost Damrada, his plan would have been sabotaged beyond repair. Damrada replied with a bold grin that at least he'd managed to escape for him. One didn't become the leader of Cerberus solely through business acumen. It took real talent to make the powers that be in the underground bow to you. The boy, perhaps knowing this, let a devilish grin creep onto his face. He told Damrada to avoid going all out or anything because that's the absolute last resort. The boy proposed to just sit and watch a bit. He looked forward to seeing how this struggle played out, especially since there's no real power involved. Going all out, as he put it, meant calling upon every asset Cerberus had on hand. That required bringing the two underbosses into the fold. Those two underbosses not in the room were people directly below the boy himself. There would be nothing covert about the results. It could lead to a full-blown war that involved all the Western nations. Damrada nodded at the boy, knowing that wasn't what he wanted. Damrada said that in that case, it might be best for him to return to his native land. The boy agreed with Damrada's proposal. Though Hinata didn't see Damrada's face, this was Hinata they were talking about. The boy believed that she'd probably had her sights on Damrada, and that made open activity difficult. The boy decided that it was better to have someone else step up. Damrada knew what the boy was getting at. Cerberus had 3 underbosses, Damrada and the 2 others, and one of those 2 was a problem. The boy proposed not to ask VEGA to fill in for Damrada. A convinced Damrada replied that in that case, it was MISHA. The boy confirmed it and proposed to go with that. The bosses were nicknamed the Gold, the Lover, and the Power, the 3 symbols of a man's greed. MISHA, the Lover, was someone you never wanted to let your guard down around, but she at least listened to reason. VEGA, the Power, was a handful. He was a living, breathing personification of violence, as his name suggested. Damrada could do nothing to sway his mind. He only listened to direct orders from the boy, who knew that well enough and didn't want Damrada to deal with him. Damrada said that sounded good and asked how they should wind down the slave trade he'd been working on here. The boy replied that the ORTHRUS slave market had always been a pain to deal with. The boy proposed to shut it down since he never liked slavery anyway. Damrada said he had no objections, but asked if they're just going to release all the rare monsters they circulated around MISHA's Echidna Club. The boy said no and explained that anything designated confidential should be treated the same as always. He added they still had a link to the Rozo family and they might as well use it. Damrada accepted it and said that he would leave the rest in his capable hands. Then Damrada took his leave. The boy closed his eyes, gleefully moving the mental chess pieces around in his brain. Then he heard the tapping of footsteps. His lips curled into a smile as he spoke to the woman behind him, a secretary. The boy asked her if she had been listening, calling her Kazalim. The woman confirmed it, calling him boss. She asked why he was intent on dismantling ORTHRUS now. This was Kazalim, a trusted confidant and advisor to the boy. The boy replied that it's simple, and he thought he would let him play the good guy on this. Kazalim asked if that was the only reason. The boy asked her back if he really needed to say the other one. The boy explained that slime controls the entire forest of Jura from one end to the other. If they went monster hunting in there, they would get crushed. So it was better to dissolve ORTHRUS now, while it would be to their advantage. Kazalem understood that they just needed to protect their core assets like a lizard that had lost its tail. The boy asked Kazalem if he could leave the arrangements to her. The task was to let him play the good guy. Kazalem told the boy that he came up with the most interesting ideas sometimes. Kazalem said alright, and she would take care of it. The boy thanked her. Kazalem requested him to call her Kagali. The boy turned toward Kazalem, eyebrows raised, and understood that she was finally going through with it. Kazalem said that with Clayman dead, it's time to step up until she had her revenge against Leon, and she's putting the Demon Lord Kazalem name on ice. The boy said sure thing and asked her to get to work, calling her Kagali. She willingly accepted the order. They gave each other a glance and grinned, opening the curtain on a new age of chaos. That's it for this video, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you will never miss the upcoming continuation of Tensura spoiler video series. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the top 10 commenters on my previous video. Shout out to Jen Lester, Yuki-chan, Luke Develox, Michael, Anime Hub, Venom Legend, Emerald Tempest, Hashira of Shish, What is Life, Guan Shuan, Canaria MLBB, Walter OB, Farzana Hulk, JWOZ, Borogoat, and last but not the least, shout out to Leo Victor Adraneda. I'll see you guys in the next video.